Chill. What up, world? How you feel? Get excited. I'm just inviting people to this room real quick so we can talk about how to stop caring what other people think, man. It'll slow you down so much worrying about another person's opinion, man. It's crazy. Who that? King God in the building. I'm gonna go ahead and invite him to the stage. I'm inviting a bunch of people first. Hold up. There we go. I bet my man Travis down there too. You already know.
Well, go on, man. First life. First God.
You already know, man. Everything is good. How you feel, King God?
Feel good, you know, just up on the grind, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up, Travis? Travis in the building, y'all. Yes, sir. Grand rising, good morning. I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it, man. So, I don't know if y'all know, but today we talking about, Today we talking about how to stop caring what other people think. I love this meeting. It's so uplifting and enlightening. You feel me? So first, before we even get into the solution, right? Because we know that we're gonna get into the solution over here, but we want to talk about first. We want to bring up to the surface the cause, right? The reason for this problem. How to stop caring what other people think. But wait a minute, why do we even care what other people think in the first place, right? So let's first identify how you even fall into that trap. My man King God, can you give me one reason why people that care what other people think, give me one reason why they even care what other people think?
But I can only just go off based off everybody to me was the same, right? And when you start not caring to be like what you've been taught, and it kind of falls back on you because now you're the only one switched, and everybody look at you like, damn, you know, what happened to you? Then you might be caring a little bit, you know, but you got to move forward. That's how, you know, I get from that. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up, Coach in the building?
Good morning.
Good morning, Goody. Good morning, Goody. How you feel?
Wonderful.
Hey, I'm excited that y'all came through, man. Coach Jared in the building.
Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Top of the morning to y'all.
Good morning, everyone. How you feeling? How you feeling? I'm glad y'all came through, man.
You already know. Best day of my life. How y'all doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing excellent. I'm doing well.
That's a bet. Yes, I'm looking at this topic right. It got a little pop into it, bro.
Yeah, man. You said it got a little what?
A very powerful meaning to it. You know what I mean? Like just how to stop caring what other people think. You know, it kind of resonates. You know, when you think about it, because if you worry about what people think, then you're not worried about what you think. Like you can't do both. You got to worry about what you're thinking versus what everybody else thinks. You holding yourself back if you're doing that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So look, we getting ahead of the game, right, y'all? Because we just came in here, right? So now I know we want to talk about how to stop caring what other people think, but I want to get to the cause of the problem before we get to the solution of the problem. So we were talking about why people even care. what other people think, right? And King Guy had a great answer. He basically said, I can't go off of anybody else's perception, but what I believe is that he said what he believes is that the reason that people start to care is because when you change up, or when you wake up and you discover who you really supposed to be and you acting in that, other people might not have seen that about themselves yet, so they still act in the old way. And when you see their reaction to how it is that you live now, that's when you might begin to care. But you can't care, you got to keep moving forward. So that was King God's answer. Anybody got a comment or want to add anything to his answer before I go in?
I believe people focus too highly on what people say directly informs in the way we choose to live our lives. I mean, ever since social media, ever since, you could grab a cell phone and take a picture, it's become this thing where I need to care. I mean, even before that, we always cared about, maybe family members, viewpoints of us, maybe we consider ourselves black sheep and proving people wrong, or whatever it may be. I think that has a lot to do with why people even give a shit. So I'm not going to say what my viewpoint of that is, because I know that's going to be the solution part. But yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I can agree to an extent. I think that people definitely have a set, like a preset, set of rules of what they think or believe other people expect from them. So they might care if they feel like they're not living up to that, right? So that's a big part of the problem, right? The part of the problem is that we follow in paradigms that were created by other people in the first place. But hold up, before we get into it, what up, Sister Yaya? What up, Holly? How you feel?
Good morning, baby.
Grand Rising, good morning. How you feel? Everything is good. I'm over here talking about how to stop caring what other people think. And we was talking about the cause of the problem before we get into the solution to the problem. And the cause is, well, I believe the cause is when someone would ask me, why do people even care what other people think? When somebody asks me that, I'm going to immediately say it's about fear. I believe it's about fear. I believe it's about being afraid of how someone will treat you or what they will look at you as once they see this or see that, or you tell them the truth or you tell them a lie, or whatever the case may be. I believe it's fear, because if you really truly care about what other people think, and it's because you are afraid of how they're gonna perceive you, then it has to be fear. Now there might be other reasons, but that's the reason I think of. Anybody got a comment to that reason?
I mean, I think it's more like people intercepting other people's projections. That's what I really think it's all about. You sitting around and you're allowing people to make you feel like you're supposed to be a certain way because the majority are that way or whatever. Whether that's right or wrong, how the majority is, you're leaning towards that because you're allowing their projections to come into your space. That's why I say you want to focus on your thinking instead of worrying about what other people are thinking about. Because you want to block that crap out.
Exactly. I totally agree. I think that having the energy being used upon what it is that you want out of life, rather than being used upon studying or just being nosy about because what other people think is none of your business. Like, especially what they think about you, it's none of your business, because the moment that you know these things, you're, as a human, are going to act a certain way. If you walk in a building and people looking at you like you about to rob the place, you might move differently than if you walked in the building and people looked at you like you were about to buy something. You know what I mean? So like, knowing what other people think can be a part of the cause, could be a part of the problem too.
So true. Good morning, Miss Queen.
Good morning. You always ask such nuanced questions, Merch Life J. So I'm still taking my time with that, because you should regard, especially with people you hold a high regard to. you should consider how someone else thinks, but you still have the freedom to move how you will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just I really have to think on that, because how would you ever break through and build together if I simply did not care what it was?
Now, thank you, Goody, because now you opening the conversation up right where it needs to be at, right? So we talked about the cause, right? The reason that you might care what somebody thinks. And remember, I said it's fear. I said it's somebody being afraid of, like a negative response or whatever. Now, what Goody is presenting to the room, and this is awesome, because what if, right? Just hypothetically speaking, what if somebody that thought something of you could benefit you from however they thought about you? What if you're at a job interview and you're like, I do care what this person thinks of me?
But that's the whole thing. If you're just, I think it's more about mindset. If you know you're doing the right thing and you're like committed to doing what's right in life, you know how you want to be treated. You know how to treat people how you want to be treated, and not on nothing negativity but all positivity. You're going to be a magnet. You're going to create yourself into a magnet. The people are going to draw you. You're trying to perform to how they think you should be. No, that's why you want to be a magnet. It's about just do what you know you need to be doing in life that's right, and people are going to gravitate to you. It's just that simple.
And hold up, Coach. That's why I had to give you the horns, because hold up. Listen, the entire message is that you still can't care what people think, right? And when I say that, I mean, so we got one side, the negative side, where I'm not caring what people think because they might not approve of me, right? Well, I don't care if they don't approve. The reason why I don't care if they don't approve is because you got the positive side of how to stop caring what people think as well. And when you don't care whether or not a person is in love with what you're doing or if they hate with what you're doing, you're only by law going to attract the people that are supposed to be receiving what you have to give anyway. So if I'm a circus clown, right, and I do parties for children, there is not one, there might be some adults, but there's not many adults that are going to call me and say, yo, can you perform at my party? Me, as a children's clown show, am only going to get clients that are children. So I don't care what adults think about my act. I don't care if there are people at a bachelor party or a frat party that don't want to see my little set or performance. I mean, I do care if I get clients, but at the end of the day, I'm here to entertain children as a children's clown, right? So the point of the message is you still can't care what people think. Once you do what you're supposed to do, when you're living inside of your purpose, this is the key to the game right here. Stop. You don't care what other people think when you're living in your purpose, because the people that don't approve of you aren't meant to approve of you. You don't even want them to approve of you.
Hey, I'll give y'all a great example. And we all grew up on it, Blippi. If that man really cared about what people thought about him, he would never have taken that role as Blippi. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he out of pocket though. Yeah, that's funny. That is a good example that you use Blippi though, because listen, bro, like you don't even like look how he dressed, look what he have to do. I mean, you really only going to attract the people that are for you, that's in your tribe. You know what I'm saying? The people that you are sent here to serve. That's who you're going to attract when you live in your purpose. And living in your purpose is how to stop caring what other people think. There's never going to be a need for it after that. Because once you're in your purpose, this is what you do. There's no other option. You don't even want to do anything else at that point. Once you realize why you're here, it's going to feel so good that whoever doesn't approve of it, you like, listen, man, listen. I'm not about to bend to your will because I know that I'm being my highest self. You feel me? So what up, Agent? What up, Vanzel? How you feel?
But best believe Goody had a great point though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Her point is what brought us to the solution. Because it has to be that way. It has to be everything has two sides, right? So anything that exists has a good and a bad side, so to speak, right? Like there's really no good or bad, there just is. But that's another room. Everything that exists has a good and a bad side. So thank you for presenting that, Goody. And what you were saying, Holly, my fault.
I was trying to say that this is something that I see that we have allowed to, be a part of, our community. Because, for instance, when somebody thinks something of themselves or they are saying standards, we always assume that this person is better than us and this and that. And we feel like we got to bring that person down to our level by saying, oh, that person either narcissistic or that person, think highly of themselves and they think this, they think that. When in fact, that's not what it is. In fact, we should be helping that person and helping, promote that person. Because if you look at other culture, certain people display certain things, but we don't see it as narcissistic. For instance, if you look at Donald Trump, certain thing that he do or say, that's a narcissistic behavior, but a lot of us don't really say it. A lot of people from other communities do those things, but we don't say nothing about it. But when one of us, saying like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, we always think that, oh, this person, is thinking that they this, they that, when in fact that person just have certain, esteem about themselves. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, I'm done.
Nah, bro, you made sense. Anybody got a comment to how they said it? All right, so I was gonna say, I think you're right. I think people do tend to, like, in our community, tend to believe that what other people think somehow is going to, like, make them a better person, or that when someone has a critique towards them, that person does think that they're better than them. However, it's not just our community. I think that's people in general.
I agree. Because people are harsh. People tend to have, thoughts about others that you wouldn't necessarily think about yourself. But you have to use your own spirit discernment to do what you know that's going to work for you. Because a lot of people speak off their own experiences. And so they kind of like tend to knock out what you feel or think, out of the way and put you down. And I sometimes think that it's not even done intentionally. I think sometimes it's done by, how they were raised or how life evolved around them. And so you just kind of stay away from those who don't fall in line with your path. This is what you got to do. It's not about caring about them. You can still care about them, but you got to be in line with what's going on in now.
And that's fact, yo. And, I love to hear that. And like, going back to my basic math that I was talking about the other day. If people don't know basic math, they can't decipher if they have a friend that's either taking more from them or if they're actually gaining. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be friends. You're supposed to have each other's back and gain from each other, not take from each other. You know what I mean? And keep taking and keep taking and keep taking. That right there should be basic math in people's head to see, like, yo, this ain't the way. So I love you said that. And, to what you said earlier, Coach, and this is something that I experienced, and they try to make me a victim of that. Back when I used to live in the Bronx, in the environment that I was, you would say the hood, people always want you to conform to the way they want you to be and see things. And when you don't, they automatically, attribute you as, oh, this person thinks he's this, he's that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wait a minute, it's not that I think, it's just that I don't conform to what people say or think. What I say or think is more important to me than what you say or think. So, yeah, you're right, but, we got to get out of that, man. if anything, we should be promoting each other. If you look at Kanye West a few years ago, the thing that he said he was going to do, if you look at the video with him and what's that guy named that used to look, I think, for 107 or something, shit, Sway was saying to Kanye West, oh, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that. And you see what Kanye West said to him. Kanye West said, you don't got the answers. And that's because Kanye West believes in himself. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to tell him what he think he should do or how he should move. You know what I'm saying? What he say or do, that's more important to him. And you see, he got it. Everything he said he was going to do, he did it. But that though, he did say that Sway was right though. It took 10 years for him to do it, but he said that Sway was right because Sway was right. Sway's like, you got everything you need. Why ain't you doing it yourself? Why are you waiting for somebody else to pick you up and make moves? You have the power. Why you not doing it yourself? And he tried to tell Sway, you don't know what you're talking about, man, shut up. And then the world, like, kind of treated Sway like, you know, he didn't really know what he was talking about. And now, 10 years later, everybody's back trying to see what's up with Sway now because Sway was right all along. You see how powerful influence is out here, y'all? That influence will make somebody that's smart look like they don't know nothing. When really, it's the one with the influence that don't really know shit.
Yeah, I think that coach arrogance. Wow. That arrogance, for sure. Kanye back in the day, even now, I think now he's you know, unfortunately been humbled by the system. But I think he's still continue to talk that shit. I think Kanye's one of them people. He's like one of them stuff on me. He's gonna keep talking this shit to the day he died. Because he's like, you know, when I did conform, it got me nowhere, you know. And even he's going back to his old ways basically. Because we know initially when Kanye first came out, he was very much do for yourself, da-da-da-da-da. But then he was like, you know what, let me try to utilize the system. Let me utilize it, because I'm going to have to go through it anyway. So because I need to utilize the money for our people. So let me go ahead and utilize the system. And then he falls in love with one. And you give your all to this one. You come, I mean, I'm going to be real. Yeah, the Kardashians said, we're not going to go into that debate, but Kanye helped build it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And so, yes, she had daddy's money, but she was not respected in the industry, specifically because of that whole sex tape with Ray J. But we're not going to go deep into that. Fast forward to that, you lose everything, and you lose your family and your kids. It's like then the system is coming after you because, you know, we could say you got the money syndrome. You talking a little too much. All right, it was cool when it's behind closed doors. Now you just really acting reckless. And then now when we add to that the spice and the sprinkle of anti-Semitism, quote unquote, you know, now it's like, you know, you're isolated.
I think y'all got the Kanye situation like kind of twisted in like mentally.
No, but his roots is what I'm saying. He's getting back to his roots of realizing, okay,
to stop caring what other people think, right?
I'm trying to get the point. Even with the whole Sway situation, he's realizing that Sway was right. You know, like why sit at a table where you're unwanted when you want to create your own table? Why are we constantly begging for a seat at a table that we're not welcome? Flip that shit over and go create your own. Like, and that's really where we're always gonna be back in that spot where we gotta go and create our own, unfortunately. And it's always gonna be that way. We're always gonna have to create our own. And I mean, our instance is that. I mean, Black Wall Street wasn't the only Black Wall Street that got burned down. Everybody, let's talk about Tulsa. There was thousands of Tulsas all over the country because we didn't have a choice. It's like, so now that we're back, and I understand throughout time we have advanced, technology has advanced. Now, it's literally we're in a digital age where it's right at your fingertips. Are you going to build or not? Is really the question.
Well, the only way to do that is to stop caring what other people think.
Facts. Because when you said he's humbled by the system or whatever, this isn't humbling by the system. This is, but this is all a part of. This is all a part of the plan, though. If you watch the first Drink Champs interview, he said that this was going to happen. He said you might see post interview or the next interview or whatever. Kanye West is no longer a billionaire. Kanye West got cut from this or cut from that. He'd been trying to get out of the Adidas and the Gap contracts in the first place. The reason that all of this is happening is because it's not the Monique syndrome. What Monique did should have been supported more as well. But what Kanye is doing, he actually has the resources to break away and do for self. That's why he's creating the ecosystem city. He has the resources to break away and do for self. Monique didn't at the time. Monique basically quit her job without having the money saved up already. Kanye is the brand. Adidas is gonna lose $250,000 a month not fucking with Kanye.
And we ain't even talking about royalties. What about the royalties? This is what you don't understand about him. The boy is a producer. He produces music. He makes something out of nothing and gets millions of dollars in royalties on that shit. And he's going to get them to the rest of his life.
That's the beauty of being a creator. That's the beauty of being a creator. You can always create something new.
Right. So he stopped caring what other people think, right?
The thing is, that's the point. He's not just some regular artist. He's out there. He's pretty much the foundation of what we're listening to the majority of the time. A lot of music that he put out, a lot of people have used him, and we don't even know that he got credit on it. So the point I'm making is he can go away. I'm thinking that Avis and all of them are owned by Adidas and them as well, because the way they try to clone the shoes and all of that shit. Man, they really trying to steal off of that brother, and I see it. Anybody else that's in the business sees it, and I understand where he's coming from. And even with that DEFCON 3, they really try to blow that out of proportion. That didn't mean that
exactly.
Right? You know what I'm saying? DEFCON 3 means that we're just at a higher sense, and yeah, we can be at you within 15 minutes. Is what he basically was saying. Like,
yeah, that's what DEFCON. Bro, thank you, coach. I said thank you, coach, because that's exactly what DEFCON 3 means. It means that we are ready. So it means that in case some shit pop off, we have a response team that's prepared to be there in 15 minutes or less. So all he said when he said DEFCON 3 was saying that I'm ready because I feel as though I'm about to be attacked. Like, if y'all really pay attention to what this man been doing for a long time, he a Gemini at that. So it's two sides of him at the same time. You gotta pay attention, because he not what you see on the surface is not what's really happening. There's a hidden hand. Like, he's distracting you with the right hand so he can pop you with the left.
You know, we all have a little Kanye in us. We all have a little Kanye in us. The thing is, you know, he's being tried. So he said, oh, y'all want to try me? I'm going to show y'all gangster. The only problem is he's not in the position where he was before. You know what I'm saying? When you didn't have a lot to protect, it was a different thing. But he has a lot to protect.
You don't care about that, though.
That's what I was about to say.
He can recreate every last bit of it. Just like
he don't have to recreate it; it's already there.
What Jay-Z said, he said you got him and him saying they created Jay-Z. Well, then create another me then. That's exactly what he told them. Because they can't. Only Jay-Z could do that. Just like only Kanye can do that. He's going to do that. And I believe he's in a even bigger spot now than he was before, when he didn't have nothing to protect. Even when I'm having something to protect, that's him showing them like, look, I don't give a shit about none of this. None of you hurt me unless you just kill me. That's the only way you're going to hurt me. And even then, you still ain't going to hurt me, because I'm going to build a spirit so strong that it's going to live forever. So what y'all got to say? That's exactly how it's going to be.
See, the thing about Ye is that the way he got this shit set up now. All right, so they said he's not on the Forbes list anymore. First of all, it took him like 3 years to put him on the Forbes list after he became a billionaire. You can't go from 11 billion. You can't go from 11 billion to less than a billion in overnight, or especially off of one deal, because it's not most of his. If you look up this man's net worth, most of his shit is real estate and music royalties, just like Coach said. Think about Jay-Z. Jay-Z got like 13 number one albums. Kanye is producing on 4 of them. So I don't know how else to say it, but like when it comes down to him losing everything or losing whatever the comment was, I think it's like I think he did all of that on purpose. Like, he's really not losing much. You feel me? He can't. He is the engine of Adidas.
I feel like the public is going to always formulate. We already know how this shit go. We see this shit with every major celebrity. Like, before Kanye, the other guys I was going to scrutinize and infiltrate things to be worse than they actually are. Meanwhile, Kanye somewhat living his life. I mean, so be honest. Yeah, he handling business right now, but I mean, they make shit seem way worse, way drastic than it actually is. They'll take a portion of something and turn it into the worst possible scenario, and everybody will run with it when that's really not the case. He don't have to keep clarifying shit. As far as I'm concerned, ain't none of us paying his damn bills. So he ain't got to clarify shit to nobody. They keep still choosing to be there for the people at the end of the day. That says a lot, especially after being dragged through that damn system. And so the fact that he's still choosing to be there for the people and, be that voice of reason, it says a lot about his character. But I feel like at some point in time, it doesn't matter how much he quote unquote loses, because people keep talking about, oh, he gonna lose this, he gonna lose that. It don't matter how much he fucking loses, because he can always recreate it. And a lot of it ain't going away. Like you said, the royalties, a lot of the album. I mean, you look at Common's album alone. He was a ghostwriter for a lot of today's rappers and rappers back in the day. He still get royalties off of that. So it's like, I mean, all of the Aquarians, you can look, Kanye is on there somewhere. You look at the discography. If you look at the discography, that's he. So that alone, he making money off of just residual. So he make money in his sleep off of that. So it's just like, I mean, it really becomes a thing where he's going to do what he needs to do at the end of the day. And like they said, it's always a hit. It's a hit at the end. At the end of it, it's going to be pushed, and he knows that it's going to do what it's doing. But he's not worried because he got another plan for us. That's how it goes.
Yeah, if you pay attention, not that I really care about his loss or whatever, but like some of the things that he's involved in, I pay attention to. I've been paying attention to. First off, we'll start with Forbes. A lot of people don't know that you're paying Forbes to put out a certain narrative, and a lot of people don't know Forbes has lied about Kardashian's numbers for years as far as their worth. And a lot of things. So when they put that out, they put that on social media. People that don't have no idea about certain things, they're going to believe anything. Second, Gap and Adidas. I mean, Adidas wasn't on the same page when they tried to go behind his back with the design that he had and tried to create a whole nother name. And pretty much they did the same thing to Kobe Bryant. With the shoe that he's supposed to have. But then you got Gap. They wanted his creative ideas and everything, but then wasn't okay with what he had in mind about the trash bag situation. That wasn't the agreement, which led to him spazzing out about he wanted to cut ties. He been trying to get out of that Adidas deal, the Adidas deal, because he has all the relationships that he needs to be 100%. A Yeezy brand without a deal. So he's been trying to get out of this deal when they did that behind his back. Third is what am I about to say? Third is I'll get back to it. I forgot what I was about to say.
But the basic point is that Kanye had to stop caring what other people think. And now you see how when he was able to utilize, so we got two sides of it, just like a coin, just like anything else in existence, it has two sides. You can use what other people think to get you where you want to be, so that then you can stop caring what they think and do exactly what you're sent here to do. You feel what I'm saying? So how to stop caring what other people think, man? Just live inside of your purpose. Be yourself. Be who you're supposed to be. Be yourself. There's no other way around it. Once you're doing that, you're only going to attract the people that's going to receive what you got to offer, and you're only going to be around people that actually want to hear what the hell you got to say. I mean, let's really put it into perspective. Kanye is canceled now by the Jewish media or mainstream media, whatever you want to call it, right? But when Kanye, because he said something about them, right? Because he said something towards them. But when he was saying, make America great again, right? And he only wore the red hat so he could get Larry Hoover pardoned, but Trump didn't pardon him, he pardoned Kodak Black instead. But anyway, when he was wearing the hat, when he was saying white lives matter, when he was saying and white lives matter meant, because Black lives made them matter. But that's a whole nother room too. But when he was doing all of the stuff that was supposedly negative towards black people, nobody canceled him. Did y'all notice that? Did y'all notice when it sounded racist towards black people, nobody got canceled? But the very moment he said something about Jewish media or mainstream media, now everybody got to cut ties with him. We can't do business with this guy. Y'all don't find that suspicious?
I find it suspicious because what's happening is Kanye standing up for the people. And it's ironic because our people, we so trapped behind the stuff that the media, that the Jewish people have given us, and the way the media is trying to portray him, that they can't even see behind the veil. I see that Kanye is really standing up for his people. And this whole situation has been about, let's make them look crazy, let's make them look retarded, let's make them look like there's something wrong with it. But you can't be that crazy and go from being broke in the projects to being worth $11 billion. And a lot of people that got a lot of stuff to say about him don't even have a pot to piss in or have anything to give to anybody themselves. It's like, to get back to those people, and instead you got people out here that are representing him, per se, that look like him, that don't even have any reference or have no common sense or lack critical thinking to even see what he's trying to say. You got to read between the lines to see what this gentleman is saying and what he's actually trying to do. So I remove myself from the control. He's playing chess right now. He's removed himself from the control. He's tipped over the chessboard. Now he's reset the pieces, and nobody can see that.
Hey, I said that yesterday, bro. I said, look, man, have y'all really thought about it and looked at it? It's one of those type of things where when somebody, they work themselves out of the system. It's like somebody getting put in crazy house. And then next thing you know, they after about 2-3 years, they work themselves out of that crazy house. Now, they out of the system, but everybody else is still stuck in there. So everybody that's still stuck in the system looking at him like, you're crazy, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, motherfucker, I'm out already. I'm trying to help get y'all out. My hands extended. Come on, bro.
Yeah, just like upload, coach.
Yeah, no, straight up.
And that third one was the way fuckers trying to put out the narrative, like they're taking all the Yeezy brand off the shelves or whatever. But you know, anybody that pays attention to the Kicks game, Foot Locker barely even had Yeezy to begin with.
Exactly, and they only had them when it was a drop.
But then on the flip side, a lot of people don't know that Foot Locker invested $100 million into the GOAT. So guess what they're doing? They're flipping all this shit over the GOAT because they know this shit is going to be worth some money. So they're flipping all of his branded products that they did have. They know they're about to make some money off the shit. So what they do? They take it off their shelves in Foot Locker, but they invested $100 million in GOAT. So all that stuff is going over the GOAT. And they're going to kill it.
I don't know if anyone else feels the way I'm feeling. I'm agreeing with everything that everyone is saying today. But my Black Power upbringing is leading me to something totally different. This whole time he's been ranting the stage for a couple of weeks. Well, they call ranting. I call venting and making some headway on other things. And that Black Power side of me leads me to hope that this is not a caring about the money aspect right now. This is something bigger because we've been needing something revolutionary for a really long time now. So I'm hoping that this is.
You're in the Matrix, man.
I thought that was me at first.
I was trying to tell you to make the unit.
You in the Matrix. Run it back. Go back like 3 sentences.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But I was saying is I'm hoping that it's something bigger than about the dollars and cents, whatever he's going through right now. And my Black Power side of me is hoping that this is more of a revolutionary progress because there's some things going on right now that everybody, we're not ignoring, but it doesn't seem to be that deep to a lot of people. So I'm hoping that this is not just about him, moving toward building up Black awareness, Black business, or whatever. It needs to be something more than that. That's what I'm hoping on. I hope that he does be successful with whatever his focus is. But I'm hoping that whatever he's working towards really relates more so to Black revolution.
But I did see, like, when I seen that Adidas tried to go behind him and do something, you know what I'm saying, with his design and all that. Like I said it, like when I looked at it, I said Kanye about to have another spaz that's gonna get him out of it, because he's been like saying little shit like he wanted to talk about part ways. I said Kanye gonna have another spaz out, and it's gonna create to the point where he's gonna be able to get out that contract without any type of stipulation. Like we just dropping you, but at the same time, I mean, he already done made the revenue that he needs to make over there anyway, so he can take his brand. Because I just been paying attention. Like when Kanye wants what he wants, he gonna find a way to get out. He gonna spaz out. It might mess up a few deals, but it's gonna be rebuilt. But then this time it looks like it's gonna be 100% Black, because man, if he drop a shoe and it's 40% past, they're gonna be mad. Oh my God. So
they're already mad, because if you look at financially, it's not a smart decision for Adidas to even cut Kanye. For Adidas to cut Kanye, it's the equivalent of McDonald's cutting fries or Dunkin' Donuts just cutting donuts. Now they only sell coffee. That is the same thing. And the reason I say this is because 3/4 of the money that Adidas has made over the last 5 years has been because of the Yeezy brand. So they literally losing. They said it was $250 million every month that they don't sell the Yeezy shoes. So I mean, y'all can go look it up. Don't believe nothing I say. Go Google it.
Oh yeah, but they're still gonna be banking. They just put out a statement and showed some documentation where they own the right to push out even after they cancel him. Anything that's news, anything that's current. I mean, they eating him right now. He's gonna have to fight that in court, because essentially Adidas can do whatever they like with the current designs and any new designs that were pending.
I never read that anywhere. What I read was that.
I see that they said that they own the design. They said that they're still gonna release like the design and everything, but it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna just be, I guess, it's just gonna be boosted.
I want to say something right quick, y'all. I think y'all understand contract law.
I do. That's why.
So with contract law, right? If you drop the said contract, once you say I'm done with this contract, it's dropped. Everything that was in the said contract is now null and void. So they cannot just say I'm gonna drop Kanye.
On the contract, it could be a work.
It depends on the contract. If they own the rights to the design.
If it's a work for hire,
Really?
then I'm a fool with it, baby. Hey, but look,
You know what?
you'll be okay. But look, work for hire, everything you do, you're just doing it for the company, just like you work for Coca-Cola, you come up with a new drink. While you're doing the contract, that's work for hire, that's their drink.
Yeah, but I totally understand that. But what I was saying is, right, if Kanye owns the rights to the whole design, the shoe itself, how can they in turn say, I'm dropping Kanye?
They're not dropping Kanye. They're trying to drop.
They couldn't do that if that's what the contract really read.
No, y'all both right, because what they gonna do is I just seen it. So what they doing is they dropping a shoe that looks just like the Yeezy shoe, but it's not Yeezy's name is nowhere near it. So they basically dropping a knockoff Yeezy.
But if he had rights to intellectual property and that would be the design, then that would not be available. All right, so you can't. So I mean, just like I can't take a Jordan, or you see a lot of people doing it, but like you can't take a Jordan, just slap your name on it, and then like, this is the Gordon. You can't do that. But if you're not covered in that contract, they damn sure can. And it seems that if they, because I read the shit yesterday, I was like, damn, that means that he didn't have a tight contract. Because for them to be able to just remove his name and then still process something that he was a part of, is something that any lawyer should have kind of protected him from that.
Yeah, but we also don't know, like, They could just be saying that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like they just saying a bunch of other shit too. Like they said he apologized. They only put out the.
That's a good point. That's a great point. Because the point I was trying to make to Tamika was his what might seem like a rant or going out. It ain't even that. It ain't about just the money. What it is the treatment. Is what he was screaming mostly. He's like, look, the way y'all treat us and the way y'all do business with us, it's got to change. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he was screaming more about. You know, the whole treatment period. Because with the treatment, more money will come regardless if the treatment is right. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily just about the money. It's about how these people are treating us and doing business with us.
And Coach, I'm glad you said that because I think overall, that's the point that really needs to be absorbed. Like, I mean, Kanye is a man, all right? So he gonna have moments in which he gonna misrepresent himself. That's a part of living. Some people do it worse than others. Kanye is really going bad. But his overall point is that these people are taking advantage of our culture, they're capitalizing on it. And what we're witnessing right now is that they can tolerate all the goddamn wet pussy, sell the dope, shoot this nigga, have Draco. They can tolerate all of that destructive behavior, conversation. But as soon as we get something that is not as vulgar, controversial, yeah, it doesn't need to be said. I really don't think it probably needs to be said that way. But it ain't nowhere near as impactful as these other comments that are being tolerated and promoted. And this is what they turn up for. So the whole point is like, look how they fucking treat us. And if we're angry at Kanye and not angry at the overall point, it's just some weak shit. I see so much energy just right on Kanye, crazy moments. And then like, bro, hold on, bro. He really just going crazy. I don't know why he's going crazy, but it seems, if you even be posturing, it seems he's going crazy because of how they're manipulating his personal gifts and knowing that just doesn't represent him, but it represents the whole spectrum, the whole demographic of folk. Us, how we get goddamn destroyed in the stick. That's what we need to be motherfucking outraged about.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But back to what I was saying about the contracts, right? Even if Adidas does have that ability to recreate the shoe, people was only buying it because it was Kanye's shoe and it was G's shoe. So removing him, when he go do his own thing, they still gonna lose. But the only thing that they have that's going in their favor is a majority of the people are like, he's going crazy, he's doing some crazy stuff. So they're trying to, get us to look at him in a different way rather than the way we looked at him in the past.
Well, and they're hoping that the leverage of them disconnecting people don't give them, give them some leeway. So like we ain't got Kanye, but we dissing Kanye, so that's why people don't come right now. They hoping that leverage is going to yield them a profit. Because if a company really had integrity, if companies really had fucking integrity, as soon as I say I ain't fucking with you, I ain't fucking with you. Everything that nigga was cooking up, we through with it. We moving on. We dope as fuck without it. That's what we gonna focus on. But that ain't what they doing. Hey fam, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Queen. I want to take a look at one thing, the idea that this man, whatever's being projected or spoken out, I'm listening to him. I'm not listening to them. And from what I'm hearing, from my little eye and what I can eye spy, the man is on point, on target, and hitting every mark that he laid down before he started this game. We can go back to when, what's that song? Wait Till I Get My Money Right.
His father was a Black Panther, just so y'all know.
Wait a minute though. He said, wait till I get my money right. You can't get much more righter than the richest black man in American history. That's pretty right. That's pretty right. And now he's making his moves exactly on time and exactly on point. It's not his success or failure. It's our success or failure. The things he's saying is not to make him money. And in fact, I don't want to get into the speculation of what's in a contract that none of us have. And if you do have vision into his contracts like that, you got some standing in the world like right now. But I don't want to speculate on what's going on with it because it'll lead to other things. But I would presume because of the nature of the fact that he's saying, let's bring the contracts out, he's not a common guy with his attorneys on the scene making wise decisions because he wouldn't have gotten that far. All I'm suggesting is that
he got it right. And if they quit him, that's like the cat kicking out the lion. He's the lion. They're the cat. They need him. He don't need them. I think that part is pretty clear. But I do believe that the man is exactly on point, and he's made the conversation go from Yeezy done said some crazy stuff to we back in Yeezy. That's a hell of a move. And you can't mess with him right now, like he said. If you kill me, you're gonna see something you ain't never seen before. So he ain't in danger, not like that, I don't think. Because I don't think they bad enough to fuck with this man, knowing I'm behind him, we behind him, and no matter what he said, he just said something. He didn't hurt anyone. He didn't hit anyone. He didn't kill anyone. So they just stop all of this trying to threaten him with this, and so he's straight. We straight. His power move is for us. So we need to back him because it's us he's talking about, and he shouldn't do it alone.
Just to clarify, Adidas holds patent for the design of the actual technology in the sneakers, which is the reason why they can essentially continue to sell it. It's a technology when it comes to sneakers, and that's a patent.
With him.
No, I just wanted to confirm that's the reason why they're doing that.
Yeah, that's cool, but anybody that's an actual Yeezy fan that's buying a Yeezy, anybody that's spending that amount of money on sneakers, they're not going to buy it from Adidas no more. They're going to buy it directly from Kanye.
If they quit him, he walks away with the contract renderings. He's already gotten paid. So if they quit him, they lost. I remember Ted Turner did the same thing on one of those news deals. They wanted to hire Ted Turner to go to their brand, and he made them sign this whopping contract, went to work the first day, and quit. He walks away with all the bread. They can't do nothing about it because it was in the contract. I'm not saying that he did or did not, because I don't really want to get into the speculation of it, but I know that people make smart decisions all the time, and I haven't seen the man make a misstep.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's not speculation. What I just explained is that that's factual. Right, so if Kanye, he'd have to basically create a redesign of his, because he owns his name, the right to the name, right? So he has to essentially, because the patents are owned by Adidas for the design technology in the sneakers, he can create a new one using the Yeezy name, and yeah, that way people will still be able to buy Yeezys, right? But that design pattern, Adidas owns.
Adidas ain't jack. Nobody cares about Adidas. They care about Kanye.
I get that. Just because you were saying speculation, I just wanted to be clear.
No, it's fine. I got you. Yeah, okay. The beautiful thing is you always evolve with your shoes anyway, so they can have that old ass shit that he did. Because all he's gonna do is make something new, and it's gonna be that dude and that other one was, and they ain't gonna do nothing with him. So he won. Yeah, people don't realize that Kanye is a product of Dame Dash. Like Dame Dash pretty much taught him more the business side. Even though Dame Dash crushed a lot of situations by speaking out, I think Dame Dash speaked out too early before the rest of the money came. But Kanye got the money, and now he's saying everything that needs to be said. And so like when I think of Dame, when I think of Kanye every now and then I think about Dame. Dame is the reason that we have a Kanye. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't Jay-Z. That's so true. But he went with Jay-Z because Jay-Z took the label from Dame. And see, Jay-Z trying to make all these threats to get reasonable doubt from Dame. That's why everybody been bashing Dame for years. Like he just mad Dame won't sell. But that's another story. But like people don't realize that Dame is the reason that we got a Kanye, and the way Dame did business. If you pay attention to Dame talked so much shit to the white people. Thank you. And he said what needed to be said, and a lot of deals got made because of Dame's attitude. Even though Dame, created millions for a lot of people, even Kevin Hart. It wouldn't be a Kevin Hart without Dame. People don't realize that. But
it's like Kanye got the money, and you're right. Like when he said, wait till I get my money, right? You know what I'm saying? It makes perfect sense now because he's saying what needs to be said, and it's crazy. Like he said the other day, I saw a video. He talking about I'm gonna shoot this nigga, I'm gonna kill this bitch, I'm gonna fuck your bitch. Like what he was saying, and the Jews, majority, the Jews own a lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? That they okay with that, but when you say something about a Jewish person. Look how they lynching this man before our eyes. They might not have a news, exactly. But they lynching that man.
And that's my biggest point. I find it suspicious that when Kanye said, "I'm gonna wear this red hat," when Kanye said slavery was a choice, when Kanye said anything, when Kanye said anything towards the downfall of Black people, if you will, nothing happened. Nobody was canceled. Nobody even got talked to or sat down. There was no article. There was no headline. Kanye said this shit. The only people that was mad was Black people. Now, if he says, "Hey man, I'm gonna stand up for Black people," you know what? I'm tired of saying I'm gonna fuck your bitch and I'm gonna kill your nigga on the track. Let's say this instead. When he says that, now you gotta cut ties and cancel him, and Def Jam is no longer good music and blah blah blah. See, that's suspicious to me, and it makes me realize who the enemy truly is. Right. So remember when Dame Dash said, "Oh, Lior Ben knew this. Lior been doing the same thing," and then Lior was on. If you don't know who Lior is, he's the owner. He's one of the executives of Universal, right? So exactly. So
he's known in the music world as Lee Liar. Lee Iyer. He's a liar. They call him Lee Liar.
Yeah, he said he didn't even know who Dame was. Dame done cussed out that man plenty of times.
Yeah, he definitely know who the fuck Dame is though. But the crazy part about it is, Lior said, "Man, y'all gonna try to get me to choose talent or what do you say, influence or talent? Of course, I'm gonna choose talent because I got a family to feed. So you're okay with capitalizing off of the culture, but you're not okay with somebody from the culture speaking up against you being okay with capitalizing off the culture." And it only makes sense. Can I be mad at you for that? Can I blame you for that? No, but I can do something to change that. I can take your money out of your hand by not supporting the things that you produce. And I can do that by, instead of me buying the shoe that, Adidas going to put it out anyway because they own this and they own that. Instead of buying that shoe, I'm gonna buy the one that Kanye puts out. So the solution to how to stop caring what other people think is to do what you're supposed to do. It won't be a factor once you're living in your purpose. When you're supporting Kanye rather than Adidas, who gives a fuck what Adidas thinks? It doesn't matter at that point.
Before this cancel nations, like I think we just need to cancel Adidas because they're just gonna trying to find another one, somebody within our culture to try and take that contract because they honestly were suffering before we even took that rating. Who really still buys that without his brand name being on it? Like, for real. I don't think the last time I bought Adidas sneaker was probably in the early 2000s.
Before I bought Yeezy, I used to wear. I wear Adidas tracksuits around the time. I usually dress like a 80s or like an 80s person for Halloween and shit like that. But like I got on some breakaway sweatpants right now, Adidas with some shell toes, just to drive the trumpet on. But besides that, I wear Yeezys. Yeah, I got some red Yeezy foam runners right behind me right now. But the time you see me, this is when I'm driving the truck. For real. They're comfortable driving. For real. Rich ass.
I don't know. I've always been a Nike guy.
I want to take my brother one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that the way you stop worrying about what other folks think. It's a maturity process, but at its core, it is a self-acceptance issue. When I'm just okay with me, and I'm mature enough to understand that my decisions are healthy, the things that I do are healthy. Like you were saying, we walk in our walk, and we do what we do righteously, and that complements our divine nature in the first place. When we're in that space, how others think or speak is less relevant unless it's business, but otherwise, I'm in my purpose, being my divine self. And as long as I can walk it like I talk it, which I do my best at every day, I have no concerns. I have no fears. As long as I walk with the God that I am aiming to be, then how can others' speech affect me? I'm doing my thing. Hey, you know, when I stopped caring about what other people think, I was sitting at home one day and I was watching Maury Povich. Now, if y'all remember them I think they were called Starberries. Remember them shoes that was like only like, I think it cost like $11, $6. Yeah. All right. Well, when I saw him have the people on the show wearing them type of shoes, along with like clothes that I saw at the local, what was that? Damn, what was that dress? Not Hex, but Marshalls.
Flea market.
Oh. Wear like Marshalls, but when I saw the people on those TV shows wearing the exact same shit that I would see at them little low budget stores, I'm like, who am I trying to impress? You know, I was about like 17 years old when I saw that. I'm like, who am I trying to impress? You know what I mean? Like, they really got these people looking decent with this low budget cheap shit. So why am I going to waste my money? And that's when I started putting my money hella places.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I stopped caring anything.
All right, bet, man. That's how to stop caring what other people think. Y'all already know what time it is. It's my time, bro. I gotta go. Get excited. But I appreciate y'all for coming through, man. This was the Impact Me, and this was number 99. We're no longer going in order. I got 150 of these, so I'm gonna just keep throwing them out in different, whatever one I feel like doing that day. Thank you, Agent, for coming through. Thank you, Monifa. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, JD Clark. Thank you, Levon. Thank you, King God. Thank you, Coach Jared. 8 grams, Vanzel, Johan, Iman. I am mine. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Mind Games Uncut. You already know. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you, Rico, in the bottom, and everybody else that came through and left, man. I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. I'm Merch Life J, motivational, inspirational speaker for parentpreneurs across the globe. You already know. Peace.